We are back talking Vedantic, and today's reflection is related to a reflection we had recently on a love of wisdom. Philosophy meaning the Greek terms philosophia, meaning love of wisdom. You could translate that practically as seeing clearly, and a love or cultivation of seeing clearly, because wisdom, as is defined in this tradition, is the capacity to see the end in the beginning, to see clearly. Beautiful definition, beautiful reorientation of what wisdom is, and also beautiful reorientation of what it means to be a philosopher. It's not something reserved for that college professor that you didn't really love that much. It's actually a calling for all of us if you want to perceive, see clearly. But I also want to touch on the downsides. In theory, we all want to see clearly. But as we get a taste for it, this initial phase of divine discomfort sets in. It is the edge of sobriety. As my teacher, Joseph Emmett, who I love talking about this stuff with, he's a phenomenal writer. And he hasn't published anything. He won't publish it, but he does share it with me every once in a while. And just a phenomenal writer. And he used this phrase recently, the edge of sobriety, that we hunger for things that take off the edge of sobriety because it's one sharp edge. Deep down, we do crave to see clearly because no one wants mud on the windshield when they're driving down the highway at 80 miles an hour, if you can get it off. But there are so many times in life where we chase to escape that sobriety or clarity, to numb ourselves from seeing things clearly. But this is a dangerous, short-sighted mistake. It is like adding mud to the windshield. But it doesn't practically feel that way. It feels much more practically like something is uncomfortable. How do I distract myself from that? My mind is finding this uncomfortable, and I'm going to tell my intellect that's overseeing it all to just take a hike. I'm just going to act. I'm going to grab something that will activate my taste buds. I'm going to grab something that'll quiet down or numb down my mind. I'm going to have a few extra drinks. I'm going to chase some maybe irresponsible pleasure. I always think about, I was watching this show 15 years ago, a nature show, and these two geologists that do all of their work on volcanoes. They were walking through this volcano and being filmed, and one of the geologists, he pointed down to his shoes. He said, we use just regular hiking boots. They can melt, but what we found is when we use the heat-resistant hiking boots for people in their field, what they realized is they wouldn't get the signals that they were too close to the lava. It would resist the heat so much that then they would put themselves in precarious, dangerous, potentially fatal situations of getting too close to the lava that they were measuring. That stuck with me because I love gear. The newest, best X, Y, or Z. God, you just got to have it, right? And that hit me. It's one of those moments where I was just walking through the room while my roommates were watching this on TV, and I heard that, and it stuck with me for 15 years. What a clear-minded choice. The reason I think it's stuck with me for so many years is so many parts of our lives, we want to be numb to the discomfort around us. We want to insulate from any discomfort to ourselves. But the veterans, a really smart, highly developed individual, will recognize, oh no, I don't want to seek escape from that which is uncomfortable. I actually really want to know when that discomfort is coming. I want to feel it. I want to know I'm in a precarious situation. I want that sensitivity. I don't. The last thing I want is to numb that sensitivity away. Because somewhere deep down, those geologists recognize that when we seek escape from where we are, seeking that escape can destroy us. When we numb ourselves out to whatever pain, discomfort, agitation we're feeling, it doesn't get us away from it. It actually presents this really interesting scenario where we casually move towards it. We don't do anything to improve it. We forget that it's even there until it might be too late. The downside of clarity is that you have this edge to that sobriety of seeing things clearly. And in the initial stages, that might mean I got to get away from a few things that will harm me in the end, or at least put me in really risky scenarios over and over and over again that might destroy me. Maybe that is a line of work that you're in, that you feel after a few months of flexion within a philosophy like this, maybe I need to change my line of work. Or it is maybe a few friends in a friend group. Maybe it is a few habits that you have. And that can be, these initial stages can be this divine discomfort, this sensitivity, the sobriety that you just didn't have before, this capacity to see the end in the beginning that you didn't have before, that now you wake up and you realize, oh, actually, no, I want to cultivate this sensitivity. The answer is not to take the edge off of that sobriety. The answer is to sit with it and use it to take us to a place that is vastly safer for us and for those around us. The edge of sobriety. So often you hear that phrase, take the edge off, because we think the edge is pointed at us. As you sit with it, as you cultivate it, that edge is a tool. That is your ability, your capacity to discern with a sharp edge, cutting through any circumstance or scenario in life. Any storm of change that might rattle a previous version of you. Any amount of work, intense work that might be before you. You cut through it so easily because you've sharpened that edge. You've made it your instrument to approach the world, to serve yourself, and to serve those around you. The edge of sobriety. Imagine if you're the only sober one around, with a hell of a sharp edge, what you can do for those around you. That's today's reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time.